In this video, I will be talking about minerals. What are the characteristics that make something a mineral and the environments that those minerals can form? The 5 requirements that a mineral must meet in order to be considered a mineral is that it needs to be naturally occurring, inorganic, a solid, have a specific chemical composition, and a definite crystalline structure. The first requirement that I will talk about in small detail is naturally occurring. Minerals need to be formed naturally, not in the laboratory and not by humans. The second characteristic is that the mineral needs to be inorganic. It cannot be a result of a living process or from a living thing. That's why I put the red X through the cows, signifying that it cannot be from organic material. And down below you can see the green circle showing you that that would be an example of a mineral that formed as a result of inorganic means. The third characteristic is that a mineral needs to be a solid, not a liquid or a gas, just a solid. The fourth characteristic is that the mineral has to have a chemical composition, in other words, a specific elements in it to encompass its ingredients. On page 16 of your reference table, the second to last column, you can see the word composition, and you can see the elements that make up each one of those minerals. The fifth characteristic and last is it has to have a definite crystalline structure. In the picture you have up here, you can see the atoms of the sodium and chlorine and how they have arranged themselves in order to give you the mineral halite. Down below you also have a picture that shows you different crystal shapes that can form in nature as a mineral is forming. Even though minerals can be similar in that they have to meet the 5 requirements, they can, however, be a little different from each other. And for instance, here you have on the left, some minerals contain only one of the elements that we were talking about with chemical composition. For example, you have gold here that is made up of one element from the periodic table, and also graphite down here at the bottom, made up of one element. Other minerals can be compounds. In other words, have multiple elements from the periodic table that have arranged themselves into some pattern to give you what you have, for example, here for quartz and for pyrite. Next, I would like to talk about mineral formation. Minerals form in many different environments. The first environment that they can form in is sedimentary, forming from the precipitation and evaporation of water. You have elements, minerals like halite that form from the evaporation of seawater, and you also have minerals such as gypsum that form from the precipitation of water. These water gets full of minerals, the water cannot hold it, and it starts to precipitate out. This is in crystal caves down in Mexico, and up above, this is a result of mining under the salt mines underneath the Finger Lakes. Another environment is metamorphic. Minerals can form under extremely high temperature and pressure inside the earth. Garnet is the example of a mineral that can form in that environment. The third environment is igneous, from the solidification of magma or lava. Molten material that cools inside the earth, magma, can also result in minerals. Plus, when the lava reaches the Earth's surface and cools, it can also form minerals. And I'd like to wrap up the video today talking about minerals and coming back to the chart from the front of our reference table and talking about the 2 most abundant elements in the Earth's crust. By mass are silicon and oxygen. These 2 elements combine together and form more than 96% of the minerals in the Earth's crust.